What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Rich Off Gains podcast, episode 11. It's your boy CB checking back in with you guys. Happy Money Mondays. Hope you all are doing well to start off this week. Happy Martin Luther King Day as well. You know, it's a holiday today, so the market was closed. But nonetheless, hope you guys are enjoying your free time that you had today. Spend time with family, getting some more research in and studying, learning up on some things you can do going into tomorrow. That being said, let's get right to it. So, the power of consistency. What is consistency? To me, what consistency is setting a standard and taking action based upon those standards. If you're an athlete and let's say you play football, you want to make it to the league. You want to make it to the league, you want to make it to a good college, and you want to get on a good team. You're not going to expect to get on a good team if you're not putting the base things in place for you to do on a day-to-day basis when it comes to eating habits, when it comes to working out habits, when it comes to your daily actions and the things that you're doing. You wouldn't expect you to get the result that you want if you are not doing the things that align with your ideal goal. It takes consistency in order to get those results. It takes you consistently showing up to work out. It takes you consistently showing up to eating the right things and consistently showing up to watching the film and doing the things. It takes you consistently doing those actions on a day-to-day basis so that you can get enough repetition and repetitive input to get the desired output. So these are a few ways that I stay consistent on my journey to building wealth. Number one is I just have a genuine passion for the things that I do. That's not something that a lot of people can say or have when it comes to pursuing life and being happy or being free. A lot of times people think that the things that they need to do in order to get the happy life that they want, they need to be miserable. They feel like they need to be miserable. They need to not enjoy the process. I don't agree with that at all. I think that two things can be right at the same time. I think that you can enjoy your process of going through the motions and trying to achieve a result, and you can be happy while doing it. You don't have to be frustrated and upset. I think it's what you make it in the process and in the going of getting the result. So for me, when it comes to investing, I have a genuine passion every morning when I wake up to get up, look at charts, study the charts, look at companies, study the companies, and understand the ins and outs of the company, the ins and outs of the charts, and what I see in the chart in the market when I'm day trading, in order for me to get the results that I want. And even when I lose, I don't get frustrated or flustered at the loss, because it's not about winning and making the most money. It's just about the showing up and the consistency of the process and doing that I'm enjoying the most. So being genuine and passionate about the thing that I'm doing is what I can say helps me be more consistent on a day-to-day basis. I'm sure that's the same for any other profession that people are passionate about, like being an athlete or being a doctor, helping save somebody's life and adding value to somebody's life health-wise. I'm sure that's a very genuine passion that a doctor might have or a nurse might have when it comes to being a doctor. Now, there are some people in that field that might not enjoy what they're doing, but that's because they're not doing exactly what they want to do. So being genuinely passionate helps you not only show up more consistently, but enjoy the process of doing it while showing up. Number two on my list is that I have a schedule. I have a routine that I follow on a day-to-day basis that helps me stay consistent as well. Being able to have a schedule is just like anything else. It's just like working a job. Whenever you show up to a job, you're not going to show up any time of the day. You're going to show up at a time that you agreed to showing up with your employer, and the employer is going to have you on a schedule to where you might show up at 8 o'clock, and you show up at 8 o'clock, you clock in, you're there, you're doing the work, you're doing what you're supposed to do, and then you might clock out at 5 o'clock. So you're working from 8 to 5 every day. That's the same way you have to approach what you're trying to pursue in life. You have to treat the thing that you're doing as if it will change your life, because it will if you allow it to. But if you're not setting schedules and time blocking certain times out of your day to do certain things, then it won't be consistent if you're not creating a time block and setting time away from doing other things, because that just leaves room for distraction and it leaves room for error for you to mess up and make mistakes. So time blocking and scheduling time out of your day to do the things that you know you need to do in order to achieve the result in the thing that you're trying to pursue helps you get there sooner, helps you get there better. Okay, so number one, we had having a genuine passion for the thing that you're doing, right? Number two, we had setting a schedule and time blocking time out of your day to do these things. Number three, reminding myself why I'm doing what I'm doing. Now, this one helps me be consistent on days that I might not have the energy to show up for myself and I'm not motivated enough or disciplined enough to show up for myself in a way that I know that I need to, because I have a standard that I show up to every day. I have to meet that standard whether I want to or not. So I might not have the discipline or the motivation to do it, but remembering and reminding myself why I'm doing the things that I'm doing help me get back on track to being able to show up and do the thing that needs to be done on a consistent basis. Because my why is very simple, but it's very meaningful to me and it's very impactful to me. And it's very much so also bigger than me in a way, to where, you know, I can't show up emotionally on certain days to not do these things. I just show up without the emotion, and I show up without the thought of being emotional or being moody or being in a tone or a way of feeling of not wanting to do the thing. I just show up and I just do, because I remember why I'm doing what I'm doing. So having a really strong why and a really strong reason to the things that you're doing, the things that you're trying to pursue, will help you get over that hump and that hurdle of despair, or that hump or that hurdle of, you know, laziness, you know, not wanting to do the thing, just because it'll help you get over those hurdles so much easier and so much quicker, and will help you stay on track to being consistent. So these are just 3 ways that help me stay consistent. Hopefully those help you as well. Comment below if any of those 3 that you use personally. If you use all 3, great. If you don't use any of them, try it out. Let me know how it goes for you. And just let me know your thoughts on whether or not you are consistent or are not consistent, and things that you can do to be more consistent in your life. All right, let's move on. Day trading tip of the week. Study the charts. And don't just study the charts just to, open up the TradingView app. That's what I use personally to look at charts, or open up the, you know, Webull, Robinhood, whatever you use to look at charts, and just look at the charts. Study the charts. Understand the candlesticks. Understand what happened that particular day, or that particular week, or that particular month, so that you can get a better idea of, so that you can create a better narrative and a better story around what's going on in the market. Being able to look at the charts, to me, is like a athlete looking at film. It's fundamental in your process to be great. In my aspect, in my eyes, it's a fundamental trait to have when it comes to becoming a better and better trader, because back testing and looking back on your trades that you previously took help you refine your strategy and help you get better at your strategies, and knowing what works and what does not work, what helps you get over the choppiness in the market, when the market is choppy, when the market is not choppy, what's happening in the market, what's not happening in the market. It helps you identify what's going on and kind of analyze the current condition of the market. You know, so studying the charts is a very, very, very important habit to instill in your routine when it comes to trading. And it really does make a difference when you, in the day off, looking at a chart, or, you know, before you lay down and go to bed, you look at a chart, you understand, okay, this is where the market's at right now before pre-market, and then you go into the morning before the market opens looking at the charts and kind of understanding what, and getting a gauge of what's going on in the pre-market and where everything's at right now, what can possibly happen going into the market open. You know, it just helps you set a better thesis and have a better idea of everything when you look at the market, when you look at the charts, even extended hours after the market closes or opens. So that is my day trading tip of the week. Make sure you guys are doing your due diligence and your research when it comes to looking and studying the charts. It will help you not only be a better day trader, but a better investor as well, because technical analysis and fundamental analysis are two different ways of trading. If you can implement the usage of both and combine that skill, it makes you an even more of a threat to the market when it comes to attacking and approaching the market. Because if you have the ability to understand how to look at a company and look at the fundamental research and data of the company and the profitability, the way the company works, how much money it's making, all these things, and then look at the charts and understand what's going on from a technical level, that just makes you more of an advanced trader. So why not increase your chances and your ability to execute in the market and create a better result for yourself? To me, it's a no-brainer. I've always wanted to improve and get better in the market. I started out not looking at charts all the time or looking at charts to study, and now I look at the charts like it's a religion just as much as I look at my Bible. So treat it like something that will change your life, and it will change your life. That is a principle and a motive I'm going to continue to instill in you guys going through the year of 2026 and even through time to come. It will always be, treat the thing that you're doing as if it will change your life, because it will if you allow it to. All right, so that is the day trading tip of the week. Make sure you guys are studying your charts, looking at your charts as much as possible, as much as you can, and doing your proper due diligence in order to get the results. Also, once you do on the specific charts that you look at the charts that you're using already. Like when you're day trading, look at the charts that you're trading on and study the trade that you took. Study the trade that you took and look at the way you took the trade, why you took the trade. You want to understand why you took the trade. You want to understand what your idea was, what your thought process was, and you want to make note of those kind of things so that you can come up with some form of a strategy for yourself. And then once you learn what's working for you and what's not working for you, like say, for example, you have a strategy that works really well and then you have a strategy that doesn't work as well, you're going to want to more focus on the strategy that's working really well for you. And that will help you make a lot more money in the market, because now you'll know going into the market session what it is that you're looking for to happen in the market for you to get a better chance of success. So pro tip, study what works and use it to your advantage. Study what works and learn how to master that. Learn how to fine tune it so well that it has zero room for error and zero room to fail. You want to study it as much as possible and try to master that skill and that strategy as much as possible. So that's your day trading tip of the week. And yeah, let's move on. What's going on, everybody? Just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys are new, make sure to leave a like, comment, and bookmark this audio or video wherever you're watching this. Also, if you guys want to learn more about day trading, make sure to check out my website. It's a free course on there at www.continuebelief.com. You can also find my books and all my social media platforms on there as well. Thank you guys once again. Let's get back to it. Earnings week began last week. We had a lot of financial and travel companies report earnings last week. One company in particular that reported earnings last week that did really well or helped a certain space do really well was Taiwan Semiconductor. They had a really good earnings report last week, and that end result gave the semiconductor sector more of a boost in the market last week. So going forward into this week, the two stocks that I have on my radar for the watch list for the earnings reports this week are going to be Netflix and Intel. Starting out with Netflix, the reason why I'm watching Netflix specifically is because the last quarter of the year, going into that last end of the year stretch, Netflix didn't have the best performance in the market. And since its announcement of the Warner Bros. Acquisition and since its stock split, it actually has been on a downtrend as of late. So I am watching for a buying opportunity, and also I want to see how the report comes back how they did in the last quarter, just to see how well they performed. And I want to also pay attention to how the market responds. Are they responding in a positive way? Is the market going to give Netflix a boost? I do think long-term Netflix is a good buy. I'm not mad at the current price it's at. I do, however, think it can come lower. So I do want it to see it possibly come lower, but it might not happen this go round. So I just want to kind of keep an eye out for that and just see how the market responds to Netflix. in this particular earnings report. So that's what I have on my radar for this coming week is Netflix. That's probably the top of my radar. Just want to see how it responds going into this earnings report. I think that it's still overall a good performing company, so I don't think that they'll have a bad earnings report. I just think that given the current news around the Warner Brothers bid and the acquisition, that will linger over the performance of the stock if the stock doesn't outperform expectations and things of that nature. So that's what I'm going to keep an eye on going into this week. And then Intel, I want to see how much the government's support for Intel has helped the stock, because I have seen that it's been increasing and going up as of late. It's currently sitting somewhere around 40-ish bucks. So I definitely want to keep an eye out for Intel as well. And I want to see how their earnings reports comes back, how well they performed in that last quarter of the year, how well the CPUs products moving, and just see how much demand there is for the stock. I don't think that it's a stock that I'm interested in. It's definitely not a stock that I'm interested in. I'm just more so interested in the semiconductor space. So I want to see and get an idea based upon how well they report their earnings report, what I can expect or possibly expect going forward into the other earnings reports for the other semiconductors like AMD, NVIDIA, things like that. Now, I know they don't sell the same exact product, but it is in correlation to AI. And so I definitely just want to see if they're doing really well. I can only imagine what AMD, NVIDIA, AVGO, and all these other companies are doing as well. So that's kind of what I'm looking forward to see on Intel specifically. And yeah, that's really my thought process with Intel. It's not a stock that I think is worth investing in. Now, if you are pro Intel, that's 100% your opinion. I don't think that it's a bad company. I just don't think that it's a company that's worth buying. If we're talking about the overall semiconductor space, there's a lot more opportunity that makes better sense for my money in particular in regards to buying and investing in stocks. Let's talk about tech overall though. What has been going on as of late? Tech has been reporting. So as of late, tech has been performing really, really slow. It's not the top performing sector. As of right now, the industrials are the top performing sector in the stock market. And let's talk about why. In my opinion, I think that it's because as of the last 3 years, tech has been carrying this space for majority of the years. And it's been the main reason why we've been seeing continuous growth and return on the stock market. And so I think that right now, we're in a little bit of a standstill until we get some more news and earnings reports out for tech. And that's going to keep tech at bay and prevent them from growing any further. We've had a lot of slowdown from especially the Mag 7, like Microsoft, Apple. Google's had the most growth as of late. Amazon has been seeing some growth as well. But NVIDIA, Apple, Microsoft, even Tesla, they've all slowed down in regards to growth. And so I think that's just due to, like I said, them having a tremendous last 3 years, and money's just shifting from tech to industrials. And so we're seeing a lot of industrial companies like Caterpillar and Deere do really well. We have defense companies doing really well like General Dynamics, Lockheed Martin. Those are also performing really well. And we also have energy, who's been not really performing well, but they're on the radar for a lot of people investing because of the Venezuela acquisition, that we can say for lack of better words. And just those three sectors in particular are what the world is focused on. So we're seeing a lot of money flow to those sectors, and so tech has just been a complete standstill for the most part. To begin the year, also been pulling back a little bit. Like we've had Apple pull back roughly 10%, and Netflix has also pulled back. All these other companies have all pulled back. So I think that's the main reason why we're seeing slowdown in the tech space. So I think that once we get some earnings reports around more tech companies, we will see more movement in those areas. So yeah, I think that's what's the main thing that's been holding back tech. And I'm still bullish on tech long term. I know that even with him having a standstill, they're still going to be the leaders of the space because obviously they're the ones that's putting out the products and the infrastructure for AI. And AI is going to be a big play going into the next 10 to 20 years. And tech is going to continue to grow and continue to get bigger. But also, I definitely want to keep an eye out for energy as well. Energy is another sector that I want to start investing in and buying up shares of because they have the market share of energy for data centers and just energy uses for AI. So those two, energy and tech, go hand in hand in my opinion. I just want to get the top performing tech companies and see where they're at in the year of 2026. So I definitely will be keeping an eye out for energy companies as well. And also space. Space has been doing extremely well. I don't know if it's because of the SpaceX IPO or if there's other news. I haven't done a lot of research on it, so I definitely plan to do more research and probably come to you guys next week with some more information about space and what's going on in space. I know that SpaceX has, proposed the idea to build data centers, and so companies like Rocket Lab that are already IPO'd on the stock market are performing extremely well to start out this year. And I'm definitely gonna do more research on that. I might even make a separate video on space companies and just talk about what's been going on with space because I think that there's something big boiling and booming in the space area because like I said, the data centers is just one play, but there's so many other opportunities when it comes to the exterior of Earth and what opportunities can be presented outside of there. Like you got the satellites that, Starlink I think have been building already. So they have the real estate of data and satellites out in the space atmosphere already that are being implemented and utilized, kind of like how Tesla built all the EV charger stations around the US and around the UK and all these other countries to take up that real estate space so that other companies would have to go to him to use. And I think that's such a smart play as well. Like thinking about taking up space in something that will be in demand in the next 5 to 10 years is a very strategic thing that Elon does really well. And I like that as well that Mark Zuckerberg with Meta has been doing that with the data center. So a lot of people don't see the vision with what he's doing. He's been doing that even with, the metaverse and changing the company name to Meta and building out the digital world. He's doing it in a way that's different because it's not as in demand as, something like electricity. However, with the data centers, he is. So I do like that those two leaders do really well with investing into something early and being ahead of the curve when it comes to the demand. Because once the demand catches up, the product is already there in place for them to now see a return on the investment that they put in place 10 to 20 years ago. With EVs, like it took probably at least 5 years for companies like Ford and GM to create their own electronic vehicles and then need the charging stations that Elon created. So I can see that being a similar play with the satellites in the sky that are already out in outer space, and then also the future data centers that he'll create as well. So it's just a very strategic thing to do when it comes to beating the consumers and the producers to the demand early. And the supply. You're beating them to supply too, because the cost of it right now might be cheap, but then the cost of it later might be more expensive. So now, who knows what can happen? You can rent out the space to another company that might need it. You can upcharge the price and create the value of the space even more. You just have more control over that space. So it's just a very strategic thing whenever you're investing into a space like that early. So I definitely respect that about Elon and Mark when it comes to early investing. With that being said, this is the end of the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed, man. I just want to give thanks to God, showing appreciation to him and giving gratitude to everything that he's done. Nothing is possible without God's blessing. Nothing is possible, and nothing is you're not able to do anything, in my opinion, you're not able to do anything that is worth doing or impossible to do without God's blessing. Like the things that you think are not possible are made possible with someone like and something like God. So just continuing to believe in him, and I just continue to build my relationship with him, continue to read the Bible, and continue to get wiser and wiser each and every day. It's a blessing. It's just it's a blessing and I love it. And so I just want to give thanks to him, give praise to God and love, keep growing, keep pursuing, keep trying to do new things and get innovative and get creative, because that's what God put us here for. He put us here to be creative individuals, creative thinkers, and just create, create in a positive way that impacts people positively and creates people that also want to create, because there's a lot of people that have been suppressed to creation. And so I want to help unlock people's ability to create and create a better future and lives for themselves. That's a part of my why, and so just giving thanks to God. I want to give thanks to him and yeah. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. This is episode 11 of the Rich Off Gains podcast. It's your boy CB. Make sure you guys bookmark this audio. Wherever you listen to this, whenever you listen to this, show support in any way that you can. I appreciate it. Also, check the link out in the bio. I have my website there, www.continuebelieve.com. There you can find my free day trading course. Absolutely free, no charge at all. I have some books on there if you want to check those out too. But yeah, with that being said, this is episode 11. I'll see you guys next week. Stay blessed. Peace.